Hello and welcome to Stephen's Online Breakdown. It is Wednesday, November 27th, 2024. Hope you're all having a wonderful week and an even better Wednesday. I just put on a little tune there called Winter Reflections. I like to put on some background music for my show. And Winter Reflections is a very good way of describing what I'm doing and where we are right now. It is the winter. It is officially the winter. Is it? No. December, January, February is the winter, isn't it? November is the autumn. August, September, October, November is autumn. Yes. I'm new to this. I'm new to this world. I'm still learning these things. But my point is, here in the Western Hemisphere, in the European continent, in the northeastern section, in the northeast Atlantic, it's pretty much the winter. It's pretty much a 6-month winter. November till March. November, December, January, February, March. 5 months. It's a 5-month. It's a 5-month winter. And sometimes you can have really terrible snow in April. Anyway, let's not talk about the weather. We just been through a cold snap, as they say. And we survived it. We survived it. I've been through worse, a lot worse, to be honest. And why would I not be honest? Actually, it was the worst weather I've ever experienced, to be dishonest. I hope you're having a wonderful time. So, in case anyone's watching, there's no one watching. Even the bot on Twitch is not watching. One of the problems is my broadcast schedule. One of the problems I'm guessing as to why no one's watching is A, no one really gives a shit. That's one. That's one. 2, my broadcast schedule is erratic. Okay, now I'm working on that. Okay. 3, my content is not very exciting or interesting. Okay, that's 3. 4, I'm broadcasting at the wrong time of day. That's another one. And finally, is it 5? 5, it's still early. It's still too early. It's early days. And it takes time. Patience is a virtue. So we'll just address those one by one. The bot on Twitch is watching, I think. Hello, bot. Or if you're a real person, then why not say hello? We're all friends here. This is Stephen's Online Breakdown. I am Stephen. There's my name. Hi. I am the presenter, and I shall present unto you a variety of entertaining and informative items over the next 90 minutes or so. So if you're tuning in for the first time, I like to browse the internet. I like to learn a lot. I like to mess around with AI, have some fun with that, and then just chatting. General chats I like to have as well. It's all part of who I am as a multimedia content creator. And we'll get started pretty soon. Actually, speaking of AI, what we're going to do today is I'm just waiting for my main AI generator to update. And by that, I mean for the subscription to renew in a couple of days. So until then, I'm going to play around with some free AI image generators. That's right, some totally free ones that you don't have to sign up for even. Because a lot of these free AI generators claim to be free, but that is technically correct. But you do have to go through a laborious sequence of sign up duties, sign up techniques, sign up hurdles, obstacles, in fact. Now, it just means giving them your email address and, activating the link, blah, blah, blah. But enough, my email is like, has been given to too many. My email is promiscuous. It's everywhere now. And I'm getting increasingly frustrated with the amount of spam I'm getting. Now, the spam is being generated by the email databases, which are being harvested by these nefarious characters, whoever these people are they even people anymore? I don't know. So I'm constantly being spammed, particularly from America. I don't get those cool kind of Nigerian prince emails. I get those really boring insurance scams from like Ohio, America. A lot of weird insurance scams, such as like, Dear Stephen. I mean, they get the name right. Dear Stephen, we here at Ohio State Insurance Company have a $2,000 rebate to give to you, but we can't quite seem to. This is for insurance that we back tax insurance. I don't know how it works in America. We got a $2,000 check that we need to get to you, but so could you just give us your bank account details and we'll sort it out much faster. Now, first of all, I've never been to Ohio. I've never been to the Midwest. Actually, I've definitely never had an insurance policy in Ohio, and I'm pretty sure I don't owe any taxes, or have any taxes owed to me from the Midwest section of America. Maybe New York, LA. No, I've never worked there either. I have been there though, so it is possible I accrued some unpaid taxes. Just a bit of light music in the background. If it's too loud, let me know. It's always tricky to get the background music just right. It's that difficult balance between ambient and complete silence. Anyway, I'm rambling because from now on, this show is going to be a much more stripped down, disciplined, tight experience. And I do like a tight experience, as I'm sure you do as well. So, and what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is a little bit less rambling and more doing. You learn by doing. So, what are we going to do? We're going to play our usual games to warm up. And then we're going to do some browsing of show business news and maybe a couple of quizzes, general knowledge, and get all the important stuff in before we embark on creating some images on our AI maker generator. And today we're going to use some free. AI generators. I don't know why I find it so hard to say AI generator. AI image generators. Let me just show you what they are, just so you know I've done some prep. My touchpad makes a noise like, Hey. All right, let's go. Hi. It's a close up. So, yeah. So this one is called, there was no sign up necessary. It's open art free, which pretty much does what it says on the tin, hopefully. Hopefully there's no, there's 38 of 40 trial credits left. Okay, so that's good. Keep it simple. Give me 40 free credits. Give me no sign-up nonsense. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Sorry, there's a guy I subscribe to on YouTube called Michael Freer Jr. or something, and he makes a lot of he makes some really cool tutorials about live streaming and OBS plugins and all that kind of jazz. And but I like the kind of segue between his hyper enthusiastic initial greeting. The way that segues then really abruptly to the actual tutorial. So he'd be like, this is a quick example of Michael Freer Jr. Oh, if you're watching, Michael, I love your tutorials, and they really taught me a lot as I got back into live streaming because I had to learn all new software. And in fact, I'm using Prism Live Studio based on your recommendation, Mike. Mike, I think I can call you Mike. Anyway, so this is the way he would do an introduction to his tutorials. Hi, I'm Michael Freer. Welcome to my tutorial on Prism Live Studio. It's the best software I've ever used. I really want to tell you about it. You can't get much better than this. So let's get into it. Okay, so when you first download Prism Live Studio, you'll be met with this screen here on the left. You then type in all the necessary subscription login details. We've done this a million times before. Anyway, and that ends that particular impersonation of Michael Freer. So check him out on YouTube. Check him out! So anyway, we're going to play around with these free ones. Not yet, but soon. Very, very soon. Then we have a one called, with the very interesting name, perchance.org. Perchance a dream. I think that comes from the Shakespeare quote, perchance a dream, about going to sleep. Perchance a dream, hoping for a dream. I had an interesting dream last night where a friend of mine took me for a drive around Clare, a county in West Waterford. And he said to me, I looked at the map as we were driving around, and we weren't even in Clare, but he said, no, it's Clare Headland. And I'm like, so Clare Headland is not in Clare? He goes, yeah. Peculiar. So then the next one we're going to use is perchance.org. Really stripped down, simple interface, which I kind of dig. And then finally, we're going to use one called Deep Dream Generator. I love that name. That is a really cool... I think that's a really cool name for an AI generator. Deep Dream. Deep Dream and Generator. Wasn't there a really cool song from the Train Spotting soundtrack called Deep Dream? Yeah, Brian Eno's song. Am I right? Deep Dream. Eno. No, Deep Blue. No, I'm wrong. Deep Blue Day. I apologize, Brian. And I apologize to everyone involved in me leading you down the garden path. You know. I apologize. And but I bumped it to the cloud. I asked the cloud what the answer was. I bumped it to the cloud. And I got the correct answer, which is Deep Blue Dream by Brian Eno. I'm going off topic. I'm going to try and stay on topic for this because we're going to be finished in over an hour. Just over an hour. 1:30. Excuse me. That was rude. I'm a much more cultured gentleman than that. Look, I'm wearing a suit jacket. Suit jacket with a hoodie. And a little pocket chief. That's what they're called. Pocket chief. A pocket handkerchief. A pocket chief. I think there's a bit too much headroom. It's kind of annoying me. A bit too much headroom. I'm going to try and sort that out because I like to show a little bit of the natural light coming in. Okay, but the payoff, I mean not the payoff, the trade-off for having a little hint of natural light is that there's a little bit too much headroom. So I'm going to fix that for tomorrow. I think because I really hate too much headroom in a TV framing environment of the subject. Everything else looks beautiful in the background. I got my blue light on the background. I'm using a blue light tonight, tomorrow, this afternoon, in fact. Anyway, so that's just some internal admin that we need to sort out, myself and my team. So before we start playing around with the AI, and if you're the bot on Twitch, thanks for watching. So far, it's just me and you. Let's get into... let's play a few games to warm up. As you all know, I start off my day with my internet day. I've had a day... I actually have been awake for about 4 hours, so I've had a day... I have been doing some activities before the internet, IRL, in real life. Hi, everybody. I might as well say hello in the audience. No. See, this is the problem. This shouldn't happen. My hotkeys... Okay, anyway, here's all my social media handles. We've got @SteveStubbsman on Instagram, great place to be. See all my private photos. Then we have X, formerly Twitter. We have @SteveStubbsman. Then on YouTube. Now, please, if you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do, because I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers this side of the 20s, as in before the decade ends. StubVid Media. Please do subscribe. On Facebook, it's StubVid Media page. And on Twitch, it's StubVid Media again. And there you go. That's all there is to it, really, I suppose. That's all there is to it. We're getting stuck into it now in a minute. We're going to get really stuck into it soon. Just change the font size there. Bang. Oops. No. Okay. I just wanted to make sure my chat box was working, so I said hello to myself. Which is kind of sad, but technically necessary. Ooh. All chat, sorry. No. That's weird. Socials. Oh, sorry. That's a whole different... Sorry about that. Now, we're back. I got a bit confused between the different scenes that I've set up here in my streaming software. I'm going to be very open about how I put this show together and how it all comes together, or not, or falls apart. I think it's good. That's the kind of content I like to get from my favorite streamers. There should be no secrets between us. Anyway, back to this game. It's called... It's called Framed. Sorry, just checking if the music has stopped. It's just very low. Or is it just very low? Oh, yeah. Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that. Doesn't matter. No one's watching. Anyway, so what we do here is we have 6 guesses. 6 guesses remaining. 6 guesses to get... 6 guesses... 6 frames from a film. And we have to guess what the film is. So 6 guesses altogether. Now, we don't usually need to get 6, use up all 6 guesses. So what we'll do is we'll just we'll try and work it out logically, using all the skills within my grasp So here is the first image. Immediately I'm thinking the 1980s, but then I'm actually thinking it's probably a film that's trying to look like a 1980s film. It's got a kind of a Donnie Darko feel to it. It's not. I wouldn't say it's Donnie Darko because Donnie Darko was one of the answers last week, and I think it wouldn't come up again so soon. Whoever actually programs this game, I'd like to know who programs these free games. How it's all put together would be interesting to me. I mean, these free sites are interesting as to how they're making money. Is it just from the advertising? And actually, there is a lot of advertising around this. ShotDoc. These frames and more from ShotDeck. What's ShotDeck? Is ShotDeck some kind of aggregate? Okay, so ShotDeck is a library of film. A library of film, one beautiful shot at a time. They really need to, for an image-based website, they should really try and differentiate their white text from the background a bit more, like that, for example. ShotDeck is the largest collection of fully searchable, high-definition movie images in the world. Okay. 1.5 million shots. Blimey. Hello, directors, designers, ad folks, film students, and visual artists. I'm all of those things. You've just discovered your new secret weapon. The best collaborative professional tool for bringing your vision to life. From pitch to prop to post. Okay, so Framed is using this database to generate its daily game with 6 frames. Okay, interesting. It's harvesting 6 frames from this. It's not that expensive. So this site is using some kind of a script, a programming script that's harvesting frames from this. Okay. Now that's much easier to read. I think that's Dune. But I might investigate this more in the coming weeks. Interesting. Oh, I'd say what I say is happening is framed.wtf and its various offshoots is a kind of clandestine marketing spin-off from ShotDeck itself. It's just a very fancy, it's kind of a fun way to advertise ShotDeck is by creating that game Framed. So it's kind of hidden marketing. It's called ghost marketing. I just made that up. But you know what I mean? It's advertainment, as we used to call it back in the old days of Madison Avenue. Advertainment. So it's an advert, but it's entertainment simultaneously. So, you know, you're being entertained, but you're also being sold a product. And it's worked for me because now I'm fully aware of what ShotDeck does, and I know how much it costs, and I'm thinking about signing up. No, I'm not. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's get back to the actual game. Let's get back into the game, mate, before I lose any more viewer. So, what game is this? This is what film is this? I think it's a film trying to it's trying to recreate the 80s look rather than being an actual 1980s film. That's my initial guess, based on just, it's hard to describe exactly, just based on the film stock. It feels to me like a digital stock that's trying to pretend to be an 80s kind of high contrast, saturated kind of Kodak stock. The reason a lot of those movies in the 80s looked like that was because of a very specific stock of film they were using. I can't quite remember what it was called. 1980s film stock, 80s look. There was a really cool YouTube video about this. Someone on Reddit is talking about this. Of course, someone on Reddit has noticed this. All of these, what is it? What is it about the look of films from the late 80s, early 90s that I find so appealing? And he gives an example. Now, I wouldn't use those examples, actually. Maybe, yeah, high contrast. Yeah, something like Lethal Weapon. Beautiful saturated colors. I would go for more saturation than this, actually. But you know what I mean. I wouldn't agree the early 90s. You know, David Cameron, of course, is using filters here. I would. Anyway, there's a very specific stock of film that they were using. I'll just go on to YouTube because that 80s look. 1980s. I just want to remember what that stock was called, just so I can use it in mixed company, just to sound clever when I'm with my film head friends. 1980s film stock, film look. I watched and I think a lot of the AI models are being trained on a lot of this footage. Because a lot of when you create your AI imagery, a lot of time if you say retro, it'll give you that over saturated, high contrast 80s kind of look. And as I said, it was specifically because a type of I think it was Kodak film they were using, 35mm film. Oh yeah, here we go. I watched this video before. Good for you. It's the Kodak 100T 5247. Kodak 100T 5247. I think it's been discontinued, but you can get your hands on a kind of a new version of it, which kind of recreates a painting come to life kind of feel. Yeah. Well, a sumptuous, high contrast, high color, saturated color kind of painting. There's some examples here. It goes into extreme detail here on what it looks like. Yeah, extreme detail. So you're talking about Breakfast Club, the Star Wars movies, you know, Pretty in Pink, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, all those classic 80s films, maybe Ghostbusters. It has a specific kind of look to it. And that comes from the actual stock itself, the film stock, not really the cameras as such. Anyway, so Kodak 100T 5247. Now you know. Now you know. Anyway, so why I'm talking about that is I think this film is trying to recreate that look, but it's more of a modern film. So this would be done with filters now, or a couple of clicks on your Premiere Pro. So it's really tricky. Let's guess something. Now I'm just going to say Donnie Darko to get the ball rolling. It's not Donnie Darko. I got a. Oh wow, that doesn't help much. It's pretty much the same shot, but so is it Napoleon Dynamite? Isn't that set in the 80s? It's definitely a retro vibe. Um, I mean, Napoleon Dynamite would be would be an example of precisely what I'm talking about. Um, like if Napoleon Dynamite had been made in 1985, you go, yeah, it feels like a 1985 kind of movie. That story of kind of geeks, outsiders in a high school environment having wacky and fun adventures. But it would have looked really cool. Like and by cool I mean warm and saturated, actually. um, let's just say Napoleon Dynamite. Let's just even see if it's there. It is there as a choice. It's not Napoleon Dynamite. Now I've learned to my horror that it actually is an 80s film because this actor is would have appeared in the Sopranos series and a lot of cop movies from the 90s and noughties. His name is something like Mandy Kinkin, not Mandy Patinkin. That's the Broadway dude. Um, but that's what he looked like in the 80s. So, and he hasn't been de-aged. That's what he actually looked like. I think he died a couple of years ago, unfortunately. But he's that quintessential, intense kind of Italian American actor who would show up usually with a wig in a lot of high concept kind of Michael Bay type films towards the end of his career. But he was also in a lot of TV shows, a lot of cop shows. It's something like Mandy. It's something like that. I'm struggling at the moment. So I think we are in the 80s. It is tricky sometimes to. I probably put too much emphasis on the film stock in some of these frames because it's being digitized anyway, and it kind of flattens everything out a bit, and sometimes it oversaturates the image when it's digitized onto this framed website for whatever reason, and it kind of makes everything kind of look like Technicolor or Kodak or the Kodak, whatever 100T, 5246, whatever it was. Anyway, so we will guess. Let's just say Lethal Weapon or something. It's not that either. But I have to guess something. I'm not sure if I get this. Okay, so it really is a mid 80s film. It really is the real thing. It's a classic 80s film shot on. Now, in my defense, Your Honor, in my defense, Your Honor, my initial guess was pretty accurate. As in, I was saying, it looks like 1980s film stock. I thought it was a modern film trying to recreate that look. I should have went with my initial instinct and just said it's a 1980s film. It's a mid 1980s film, to be more precise, and that's exactly what this film is. I think it's just Tom Cruise, and there's that guy who was in a lot of films back then, and I can never remember his name. Great comedy actor. He was a big sitcom star for a while, playing in a show called Just Strangers, where he played a hilarious foreign guy from Europe, somewhere in Eastern Europe, I think, who moved to America and had lots of fun adventures in a sitcom environment. So a kind of a fish out of water, vaguely stereotypical, slightly racist 80s sitcom kind of thing. Anyway, he was a star of that. But Tom Cruise, of course, went on to become Tom Cruise. But I think this is one of his first films, which was called Risky Business. Oh, I think. Could be right. I'm not wrong. You got it. Risky Business. Yeah, and that actress, quintessential 80s actress, whose name I can't remember. Uh, yeah, she was. I think Risky Business is about an older lady who we'd call a cougar now, chasing after a younger dude, and they have lots of risky business together and fun adventures. Actually, what is the plot of Risky Business? I think we'll have to use my Copilot. I like the way Copilot breaks down film plots into a very digestible format. Yeah, see, that's really annoying. Why all that happened? That should not be coming up on the screen when I type. I'm still trying to figure out how to get rid of all that. Sorry, when I type on the screen. Risky Business plot. Risky Business is a classic 1983 coming of age, 41 years ago. Is a classic 1983 coming of age comedy film starring Tom Cruise. The plot follows Joel Goodson, a high school senior living in a suburb of Chicago. Here's a brief summary. I kind of wish it was shorter than this. But it's a coming of age, so it's like a Ferris Bueller type thing. Joel Goodson, is a straight-laced, college-bound teenager who lives with his affluent parents. With his parents away on a trip, Joel decides to take advantage of their absence and have some fun. So very, very much like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There was a lot of films in the 80s that like this, about a guy who bunked off school, or on the duck, as we said in St. Paul's Secondary, who basically, and their parents were out of town, home alone, of course, and they would have lots of weird and wacky adventures with lots of great 1980s music, like Huey Lewis and the News. Okay, so that's what it's about. But Rebecca De Mornay would be the cougar. Now, I think she's only about 2 or 3 years older than him. Bob Seger, yes. So the big 80s rock and roll tune from this film would be Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger. And of course, it's renowned for this. It's famous for the scene where the young Tom Cruise dances in his tight underwear. I must check that film out again for a bit of nostalgia. Anyway, so that's the Rebecca De Mornay, and what was the other guy's name? Joe Pantoliano. Joe Pantoliano is that guy. Is this dude. Rest in peace, Joe. Great old actor, great pro, funny guy. I think The Sopranos he was in The Sopranos as well, which gave him a great, some great exposure in his later career. Great pro in a lot of movies. Rebecca De Mornay, Joe Pantoliano, and I'm gonna have to figure out now what that guy's name was. The other dude from a show called, I think he was in his sitcom was called Perfect Strangers. Guessed. Bronson Pinchot. Yeah, what a great name that is, but very difficult to remember. Bronson Pinchot. Still alive. He is best known for playing Balki. Now, I should remember that. Balki, of course. Balki Bartokomous. That's a vaguely Greek name. on the ABC sitcom Perfect Strangers from 86 to 1993. What nationality was Balki? He is from the fictional Mediterranean island of Mypos, supposedly near Greece. So, in one sense, Balki was Borat. He was the original Borat. Wow. I always knew Borat reminded me of someone. Not just the accent, but the big, goofy, physical comedy. It was Balki from Perfect Strangers. Wow. Okay. I think I'd like to watch Risky Business again. I don't really have much of a memory of watching it back in the 80s, to be honest. It was a bit... I would have been a bit young, maybe, for Risky Business. Because there's probably a bit of kissing and stuff, and maybe a bit of nudity. And there's definitely Tom Cruise in his underwear. Which is pretty much not something you want to see as a 6-year-old kid. Because I was 6 when that film came out. Anyway, we'll go on to the second game called Faces. We got a male, we got female, male, female, male, female, male, female, male. Male. I'm thinking straight away. I'm thinking we have 6 guesses. By the way, do we? Yeah, 6 or 5 maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next 5 guesses. 5 guesses. It says it right there. Stephen. 5 guesses. I would say, once again, I'm getting an Adrian Brody feel. I'm always getting an Adrian Brody feel from a lot of these actors. And he's not even in the list. If you're not on the list, you can't come in. You know what I mean? He's not even on the list. Get that blasted Screwfix ad out of my life. I don't want anything from Screwfix. Harrison Ford. We'll say Harrison Ford for the laugh. No. Okay, so now we know when he was born. 1965. So he's 59. Next April, he'll have a very important birthday. The big 6-0. The big 6-0. Pardon me. It's tough at the top. So he's 59. Could Brad Pitt... Is Brad Pitt already 59? I mean, Brad Pitt has had so many different hairstyles over the years, but always an awesome head of hair. I mean, he really has won the genetic lottery. Let's just... Brad must be very, very close to 60 now, so... No. Okay, but... Okay. But, I know who he is now. Avengers, Infinity War, Iron Man, Charlie Chaplin. Pretty sure. Yep, you guessed it, kids. It's Robert Downey Jr. There he is, the man himself. Now, I don't really see much of Robert Downey Jr.'s face in that mutant creation. But whatever, if you say so. Maybe the eyes. I mean, he did have hair like that in the 90s. He had wild Charlie Chaplin hair, because he was Chaplin, of course. But he kind of kept that style for a while after Chaplin, till he got thrown in the clink. In case you're one of the younger viewers and only know Robert from the Avengers movies or from Iron Man, back in the 90s, he was slightly off the rails. But still very witty and clever. even when he was facing a long time in jail for repeated drug busts. I remember the judge asked him, because it was all on camera, because it was LA, so it's all there on camera, the courtroom shenanigans. And he came up with a very good quote. Now, whether he had stolen this from somewhere else or had thought of it on the spot, I don't know, but it's quite an iconic quote in retrospect. I've often used it. But the judge says to him, "Look, Robert, this is your third or fourth time coming in here. I've warned you one more time. You're going to jail for a long time. Um, why you've completely messed up your career. What's the deal?" And Robert Jr. says to him in a real Robert Downey Jr. kind of way, he's like, "Your Honor, I feel like I've got a gun in my mouth, and I like how it tastes." You know? So I think that says a lot. But he quit the drugs and the drink, and he cleaned himself up. And then back in the late noughties, he was kind of in the wilderness for a lot of the noughties. Iron Man, bang, done. Jon Favreau gives him a chance, and the rest is history. So well done, Robert Downey Jr. Just goes to show it's never too late to. It's never too late for second chances, or third chances, or fourth chances, or fifth chances. It's really never too late to change who you are until you're dead, basically. Then it's definitely too late when you're dead. Definitely. Anyway, so person 2, the female, I'm getting Kate Blanchett vibes from that hair. I always say Kate Blanchett vibes because I gotta guess something. 1967, she was born. So we're talking Kate Blanchett vibes. Sorry. 19 Kate Blanchett. No, it's not Kate Blanchett. 28th of October, 1967. So they are 57, 56, something like that. Gotta say, nothing's coming to mind at the moment. I'm really drawing a blank on this one. Let's say Naomi Watts. She must be in her mid-50s by now. Naomi, not even there. Okay. Let's just say Amy Adams. She's around that age group. Amy Adams, I'd say. Oh. She's known for Notting Hill, Pretty Woman, and Wonder. The film Wonder, is it? Not Wonder Woman. She's definitely not Wonder Woman. And she doesn't even have a part in Wonder Woman, either of those films. She would have been a really cool addition, I think, to the Marvel or DC universe. Would be to have a kind of an evil Julia Roberts, as a supervillain. So anyway, I'm saying I think it's Julia Roberts. Well, I know it's Julia Roberts. Bang. So she's 57 now. Wow. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. She's still a young one. Well done, Julia. So I pretty much got both in on my third guess. So it's Julia Roberts, Robert Downey Jr., and they've created this beautiful young son called Peter. He's taken his mother's name. So he's Peter Roberts. Peter Roberts. And of course, he's a model. He's not an actor, he's a model. Just a model. He's happy just being a model, just being a pretty face. Great hair. See, he didn't want to take his dad's name, Peter Downey. Peter Roberts sounds more like an actor or a model. Peter Downey would have sounds a bit more like an actor, I think. Peter Roberts sounds more like a model. Anyway, let's just have a little sneak of what happens on this day, November 27. On this day, in 1095, Pope Urban II preaches to the West to wrest control of the Holy Land from the Seljuk Turks, the Turks basically, at the Council of Clermont, triggering the First Crusade. Oh, and we're dealing with the consequences to this day. So Pope Urban II basically was the rabble-rouser who preaches to the West during the Council of Clermont. So that was the council meeting, basically, the European Union Council meeting of the day, to basically gather up swords and sandals and go east to retake the Holy Land from the Turks, the Seljuk Turks, triggering the First Crusade on this day. In 1295, English King Edward I calls what later becomes known as the Model Parliament, extending the authority of its representatives. The Model Parliament. I knew there was a new model army. I'm not quite sure what the Model Parliament was. I think it was English King. So basically, he created, he calls what later becomes known as Model Parliament, extending the authority of its representatives. So I think it was his way of giving the Parliament a bit more power, or setting up the first Parliament. Because I remember the British Parliament claims to be the oldest in existence, although I think Iceland claims to be older than the English Parliament. Let me just find out a little bit more about the Model Parliament, just so I don't lead you down the garden path. The model Parliament was a significant development in the history of the English Parliament. It was called by King Edward I in 1295 and is often regarded as the first representative parliament in the world. Here are some key points about it. Representation, blah, blah, blah. It included archbishops. You see, it wasn't like Mr. and Mrs. Joe Bloggs. It was still the aristocracy and the clergy and so on. Landowners, probably. It included not only archbishops, but bishops, but also archdeacons, proctors, knights, 2 knights from each shire, 2 citizens from each city, and 2 burgesses from each borough. I have no idea what a burgess is. Burgess Meredith. I don't think it's a reference to that. This marked the first time the lower orders of clergy and commoners were represented. Oh, I take back what I just said. King Edward I summoned the Model Parliament to seek financial support for his wars in Scotland and England. Okay, so that's basically he needed money, and he gathered together his subjects with the begging bowl. Said, "Lads, you can have your parliament, but I need money so I can go off to war." How about that? Structure: the parliament was divided into 3 estates: the clergy, the nobles, and the commons. Each estate met separately to consider the king's quest, and it's still kind of like that. There's the upper house, the House of Lords, and the lower house, the House of Commoners, the House of Commons. You see? Although not all subsequent parliaments followed the exact model, it set a precedent for future parliaments and is considered a turning point in the development of the English system of government. There you go. The upper house and the lower house. You see, it's a kind of Anyway, in 1493, Christopher Columbus, I was a big expert on Columbus back in the day, so I hope I know what this fact is, returns on this day in 1493. Okay, so in 1492, he of course discovered America, although actually discovered a couple of islands in the Caribbean, really. So about a year later, he gets back to Spain. Um, sorry, I'm wrong. Christopher Columbus returns to La Navidad colony, finding it destroyed by the first Native American uprising against Spanish rule. Wow. Teno Kakik Kanabao led his people to attack the settlement after the brutal treatment they received from the garrison, who disobeyed Columbus's orders. Oh dear. Yes, so I'm totally wrong. He didn't get back to Spain that quickly. He 1492. He of course discovered the islands. Then he must have he left the garrison behind, who then were destroyed by an uprising. So it didn't take long for the Indians, for the natives to suss out the true intentions of the conquistadors. This is an interesting one. On this day in 1807, Portuguese royal family and its court of nearly 15,000 people leave Lisbon for their colony of Brazil to escape Napoleonic troops. Wow. That's a pretty big deal. The entire Portuguese family fled. It's a court of 15,000 people. And off they went to Brazil. Luckily, they had a backup, Portugal, 3,000 miles away, called Brazil. Luckily for them. And in came Napoleon. Now, Napoleon didn't stay long, I don't think. And I'm pretty sure that Portuguese royal family were back on the throne shortly afterwards. And by that, I mean a few years maybe. Very interesting. Always handy if you are a king or a queen or an emperor. Always have a backup kingdom that you can flee to. Okay. Well, time is flying, and I think we now need to get on to the main order of business, which is to test out some free AI image generators. Free AI image generators. What we're going to do is we're going to run the same prompt through all three, just to see how the difference between the different models or algorithms that they're using, and how it can interpret the same line of text in a completely different way, or maybe it's going to be very similar. I don't know. It's kind of exciting. It's going to be exciting to find out, and we're going to find out right now. So first we're going to use OpenArt free. Create image. I'm not going to mess around with, this is one I created earlier. I'm not going to mess around with too many settings. I just want to get it as raw as possible. Just bare basic default settings. Now we got to come up with a prompt that we can use across the board. Let me see. Excuse me. I had a wild night of dreams. I tossed and turned. I heard a scratching at the door below. So let me just type in a sentence. Okay. A frog. I like frogs. A frog in a busy bar wearing in a busy pub, wearing hat and waistcoat. A frog playing pool. Playing pool. I say playing cards. Pool might confuse the generator, and he might end up in a swimming pool because he's a amphibian. So a frog playing cards in a busy pub, wearing hat and waistcoat. So that's the prompt we're going to use on all three of our free image generators. And that's it. I'm just going to let the default settings fall as they may. No custom settings. Bang. Let's get into that. Now we're going to go on. While it's doing that, we'll go into this very simple interface, which belongs to perchance.org. Speaking of dreams, perchance a dream. We're going to copy and paste. Bang. A frog playing cards in a busy pub wearing hat and waistcoat. It's telling me to click here. Generate. Click, click, click. It's giving me 3 different arrows. Click. Okay, I get it. Now it's in painted anime. No, I don't want anime. I want in a default setting. No style. Bang. No style. I want the bare minimum. I want just the raw basics of what this generator can do for me. Generate. It's giving me 3 images. While it's cooking up that, we'll go on to our final one, which is Deep Dream Generator. I love that title. I'm going to bring out an EDM record called Deep Dream Generator. So it's using, it seems to be using other people's image models. Art Fusion Flux, interesting. But the free one is DaVinci. That's the one I have a phone app called DaVinci for quick image making, and maybe that's linked to that. Generate. Style. Oh, I think the style is random, so I should have fixed that to default. But anyway, we'll go back to. Okay, so it's quite literal. Okay, here we go. That's pretty good. That's pretty much what I asked it to do. It's a frog in a hat, in a waistcoat. That's pretty much how I visualized it when I wrote the sentence. So that's remarkable. And there he's playing cards. He got his cards on the table. He's laid his cards on the table. Pretty cool fingers to have if you're playing cards, because sometimes cards can be a bit slippy. It can be hard to shuffle. But with those beautiful kind of suckers, those kind of sticky suckers on each finger, you'd be able to hold them very well and maybe shuffle very nimbly. Or they might stick to his. I think a frog, anyway, would be a great card shuffler. That was the first image, and there's the second image. Just a slightly different angle. Here's some cool dudes in the background. Oh, they're also wearing hats, but I like the colors in this. I like the detail, the really photorealistic detail of the frog, and even the background characters are quite well rendered. They all have one head each, and they have correct arms. It's the same guys, yes. I like the bokeh, the soft focus there. That's pretty damn good. That's free as a whistle. Now, see, this is complete confusion. Now, I mean, this is literally, that is a frog in a hat and waistcoat. That is correct. But it's not it's some kind of hideous human mutant. Amphibian human mutant, because he's got human hands. He's also, and this next image is just a dude playing cards. Then it's another frog human, horrific frog human creature. This is just a dude, some guy with a terrible hat. Now the AI model is getting very confused here. It's given this guy a frog hat, a frog style hat. and gigantic cards. I don't know what, it's like tarot cards. And a nice stack of chips, though. He's gotten lucky, this guy. Yeah, once again, it's a normal dude. And the rendering and the style, the photorealism is not too good. I mean, a year ago this would be remarkable, but now we're jaded. We're already jaded at how bad this is. It's terrible. And finally, Deep Dream Generator. It just creates one image, is it? Yeah, just one image, and it pretty much does what it says in the tin. But once again, the frog. I did not ask for a frog human hybrid. I asked for a frog in a hat and waistcoat playing cards. I didn't, these are clearly a gentleman's arms. So it's not really what I asked for. Some background guy here. He's the background's cool. The head is cool. It's just that's not what I asked for. I asked for. So the only one to give me really what I wanted is OpenArt free. OpenArt.ai create. That cost me 2 credits. I've got 40 free credits a month, I think, or a day, and I'm not sure. I didn't sign up to anything. Didn't need to sign up. I'm quite impressed with that. Let's just give it OpenAI. You got my interest now, OpenArt. You got my attention. So let's see what you can do. Let's give it another. Let's do it again. I mean, got 15 minutes or so left. Not a single person has watched, I don't think, apart from the bot on Twitch, who I'm becoming quite attached to now. I feel like we definitely have a bond. Let's give it another prompt. Let's say an army of robots. A killer robot. A killer robot attacking office workers. So this killer robot has a killer robot in a call center. Give it a bit more detail. In a call center. Give it a bit more detail for the actual location. A killer robot attacking office workers in a call center. Just a fantasy I've had since I worked in call centers. Sometimes my days were so boring and so debilitating and so depressing. I would yearn for a killer robot just to smash the door in and kill us all. No, I mean just a bit. I don't mean kill us all. Me and my pod, my workmates, we would escape out the back window. But at least it would brighten up the day, So killer robot attacking office workers in a call center. Okay. Boom. We'll let that cook. We'll do the same here in perchance.org. 6 images. Why not? Oh, it's portrait. No, I need landscape. Sorry, landscape. And we'll do 4 images. 6. 6 tree. Good tree. Let's not go overboard. Center is spelled wrong, differently in America, isn't it? Generate. And trending on ArtStation. I don't know what happened. Oh, sorry. No, I created a random prompt there. I thought that referred to the style. But here are the styles: Da Vinci 12, blah blah blah, photogenic, artistic 2. We'll go with the same again. As I said, I just want the base settings, default settings. So I think. Oh, it's still creating intro. Oh, here we go. Now remember, in the previous test, OpenArt.ai definitely won. It definitely came top in my opinion. This time around, it's not really doing a great job. Okay, it's got the robot who looks slightly miffed, not really like a killer robot. In an office, he's in a call center, he's in an office environment. They've all cool new Apple computers, but there's no killing going on. There's no sense of threat. Well, his eyes, okay, this one, he's got red eyes, so there is a slight sense of threat going on here, all right. But he hasn't actually attacked anyone. My prompt was asking, my prompt specifically requested to see the killer robot attacking the office workers in the call center. Attacking. A verb, to do. Not just pensively sitting at his computer doing his work. So I'm not too impressed, to be honest. I mean, her face is a complete mess, which is a shame. Now, second, look, this is dreadful, but kind of funny. We're not really getting what I wanted at all. This is just call center workers just working. I'm not sure why they're Asian. I didn't ask any particular race, but they're all they're all Asian, I guess. Most call centers are would be in Europe and India and America. The ones we use anyway, of course. Sorry, the ones we use. This is once again. These are friendly. These are very cute, friendly computers. Not much sense of threat at all. I mean, if they walked into the office, I'd want to be their friend, get them a coffee, talk about their weekend. I would not be in fear of my life. So pretty much all our so far the bar is quite low. And finally, no, we got a really cool looking robot here, I have to say, with the red eyes. It seems red eyes seem to be the way the AI generator articulates evil. It's probably getting that from the Terminator films. This could be an early prototype of the Terminator. But there's still no active killing or attacking of the office workers. So that was not a good. I was not impressed by any images there, to be honest. I mean, aesthetically and technically, this is probably the best image of the robot. These are dreadful. There's a certain appeal to this robot here. He's kind of cute. Has a certain retro appeal, but nothing scary. We'll finish off with one final prompt. Let me see now. Something a bit more involving humans, I'd say. Let's go for a happy family. Playing soccer by a lake. There is by a dinosaur. Dino. Always good to try out dinosaurs in AI models. Happy family playing soccer by a lake. By a lake filled with dinosaurs. Now, that'll give it something to chew on. Happy family playing soccer by a lake filled with dinosaurs. This could go in all kinds of different tangents. The way I wrote the sentence isn't particularly good grammar-wise. Happy family playing soccer by a lake filled with dinosaurs. We could end up here with dinosaurs playing soccer on a family in a lake. Anything could happen here, and that's kind of the fun of it all. Try again here. A happy family playing soccer by a lake filled with dinosaurs. Generate. And finally, a bit stingy, this one only giving me one image. 16 by 9. We want a white shot here. Is there a way to do more than one image? Enhance. We'll say enhance, whatever that means. And we'll generate one image. So here we go. Okay. Yep, it's a couple of kids playing soccer by a lake. I don't know where the parents are gone. They've probably run for their lives because there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. They've abandoned their children, which is really shocking. The other image is slightly different angle, but it pretty much is kids. Now they're more staring at the dinosaur in disbelief rather than actually playing. The soccer seems to have been abandoned, and this little creature is about to go for their leg, this kid's leg. So that's going to be a very, very, very bloody scene shortly. Once again, no sign of the parents. They're gone. They've hopped in the car and they're gone. You know, and who are we to say that we would not do the same if a Tyrannosaurus Rex attacked our family gathering by a lake? It's kind of a cartoon style. I didn't ask for it to be in any particular style. So it went with a kind of cartoony look, because I guess it's probably drawing on a lot of cartoon representations of dinosaurs, which might have skewed it in that direction. Now we'll go on to perchance.org. This is horrendous. This is dreadful. This is literally the family. Okay, the family are there, although I don't see the mother. I think that's a slightly taller daughter. They are playing football in a soccer in a lake. Very little of anything is good there. The faces are a mess. Here's a family. Yeah, here's a family by a lake. But this looks like 2-year-old AI. 2-year-old AI. And finally, which is a lifetime in AI years. And this final image does seem to have a couple of tiny, tiny suggestions of dinosaur-like creatures, but they are literally just the spikes on the back of a brontosaurus, or brachiosaurus, I think. You know, this is dreadful. This is a hard fail. This is a hard thumbs down and a big fail for perchance.org. I have not been impressed with perchance.org. So there's a lot of pressure now on our final. Here we go. Now, you know what? That's pretty good. Deep Dream Generator. It's pretty much what I asked it to give me. A family. Now, once again, no sign of the parents. We have the two young boys and their big sister. They're all fit and healthy young kids. They're playing football. They're out in the open air. And they're enjoying the sunshine. And lo and behold, a dinosaur turns up. Once again, it's a T-Rex, I think. But they don't seem too perturbed. Now, maybe they haven't heard the approach of this 20-ton dinosaur. Now, perhaps they're playing football with the dinosaur in this world I've created. Perhaps the dinosaur is a goalie. Maybe he's on goal. They're taking shots. Again, the T-Rex would make a pretty good goalkeeper, in my opinion. Although they have tiny little arms. Their little tiny hands might not be the best, but they have those huge legs. Um, so in this context, would you want a T-Rex on goal, or would you want him as a striker or a midfield maestro, something like that? Anyway, the kids aren't that bothered. They're having a good time. The parents, maybe the parents are taking the picture, because it's not every day you'll have a Tyrannosaurus Rex playing football with your kids. So you want to get that for posterity. You want that on your camera, on your phone, minimum phone pictures. You're definitely putting that on your Facebook profile. So that went pretty good. My winner there would be that image for Deep Dream Generator. Its previous generations have not been too interesting. Deep Dream. So if I was to rate, as we come hurtling towards the end of the show now, if I was to rate, give my rating for each of those three free AI image generators. In third place, I would on one out of 5. Sorry, it's 2024. This is like 2021 or 2022 AI image generation. This is like the early days of DALL-E. It's just not up to the standard that we accept now, even for free software. So this is a 1.5 out of 5. Okay, for perchance.org. In second place with 2.5 out of 5 would be Deep Dream Generator. Okay, just for that final image alone. I like the color, the saturation. I like the rendering of the T-Rex is really good. But in first place for this one, the kind of artistic style to it that I kind of like. It pretty much gives me everything I want. It does a lot of dinosaurs. It wasn't frightened to give me dinosaurs. It gave me lots of dinosaurs. No parents in shop. Once again, maybe they're taking a picture on their cameras. The robot is well rendered. It's just not doing what I told the robot to do. It's not attacking anyone, but still. But the robot. But to be honest, it's mostly winning because of this amazing image of the frog playing cards. That really is the clincher. It gave me everything I wanted. It gave it to me in great detail, photorealistic detail. I mean, I can almost touch the moist skin on that amphibian face. And it really is good. It's pretty perfect. I mean, if that was in one of the professional AI image generators like Midjourney or Runway ML, the paid versions, I mean, I'd be pretty happy. And here I've just created it for nothing on this open art site. So anyway, yeah, I think that was a successful segment, a fun item on the show, where we compared and contrasted and gave ratings to, and by we I mean me, to various AI image creators. I might do that again on Friday because that's my next show. But I'll be back tomorrow night, right here at 8 p.m. Irish time for about 90 minutes or 2 hours or so. But it won't be this show. It'll be a brand new show called Trivial Thursdays, or Trivial Thursday. And we will be, I'll be running a quiz, an interactive quiz where you can answer in the comments in real time. And my magic software will calculate the actual correct scores based on who's playing. And there'll be an actual prize at the end as well. Maybe even prizes for the top 3 quizzes. Now, you can't get much better than that. on the election, and it's a pre-election quiz, so it is actually a quiz about Irish politics and Ireland. But you don't have to know too much about Irish politics or Ireland because a lot of the questions will be impossible to Google. You know, sometimes it'll just be show and tell. I'll try and make it quirky and a bit fun. So that's tomorrow night. That's the first Trivial Thursday. Meanwhile, this show will be back Friday morning at 12. And as part of the new schedule for Stephen's Online Breakdown, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12 to 1:30. Maybe 11:30 to 1:30 sometimes as well. But for the time being, we're just going to do a 90-minute show because I want to keep myself more disciplined. And the way that works is to bring the show down to a good tight 90 minutes. Because I think our brain is trained to enjoy something over 90 minutes, like a film. A good rom-com or action thriller should be about 90 minutes. And I see my show, Stephen's Online Breakdown, as a kind of a rom-com thriller hybrid type show. So, on that bombshell, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and hope you have a wonderful Wednesday, and have an even better Thursday, and have an even more amazing Thursday night when you join me for my quiz. And then I'll see you again Friday for the show again. Anyway, it's been fun having you, but even better knowing you. Thanks for watching.